Hello Internet, James Allen from Out of 8, and today I'm playing real-time strategy game Crush Your Enemies. The game features 2 campaigns and also has online multiplayer where you can play against other humans. However, there is no skirmish mode against the AI, so once you're done with the campaigns, that's it for single-player content. Like I said, it has 2 campaigns. I'll kind of show off how the campaigns work. Now, what you have is a series of missions. In each mission, there are 3 objectives, and as you achieve each of the objectives, it unlocks additional missions using this renown mechanic up here. So as you can see here in this particular mission, there's 3 objectives. You really only have to achieve the main one. The other 2 are side missions, but you'll need to basically get at least 2 or 3 on every mission in order to access the ones that are at the end of the campaign. So we'll just kind of pick one of the earlier missions here, and I'll show you how the game mechanics works. So what you have here, this is a very basic mission. You have these basic peasant units. You can upgrade them by sending them to buildings. This particular building will upgrade them to warriors, which have a higher attack rating. In addition to that, you have all of this land that are different colors. The oranges are your guys, and then the green are the enemies. And you have to convert them over to your color in order to advance onto the next tile. So it's kind of an interesting mechanic to try to make it so that you can't, sneak attack the other side without, taking all the land in between them. So we'll try to do this as quickly as possible. The way the interface works is you left-click to do all of the actions, and then over here there's a little toggle, which is a very inelegant way of doing it, of sending all your units over into one spot. And then when they get near the enemy, they'll automatically attack. Would have been a lot better in order to split up your army if you could use the mouse wheel to do it, but the game doesn't support that. It's really kind of designed for mobile devices first, rather than the PC. So yeah, that's the end there. I achieved 2 of the objectives, but because I was talking, I wasted 4 seconds there and did not get the 3rd one. And you continue on down the line. When you liberate these little villages, that gives more, they're kind of side missions, gives more of this up here. Use the little beer that you get from finishing missions and capturing these little villages to purchase items you can use on the battlefield. And it's pretty linear. There are somewhat of a variety of different objectives you can have. Some of them are mutually exclusive. For example, maybe you can't capture all the buildings and then be able to crush your enemies in 3 minutes. So you can go back and replay missions to try to get all the objectives done, which you really need to do in order to access things that are further down the line. So in this particular mission here, we have a couple buildings. This building down here will reproduce units. This one serves as a defensive structure, and then this one will convert units over to the warriors that we saw earlier. So what I'm going to do is split my army into 2 parts, and 10 of them down there so I can get more units. And I'll actually send these 10 up here, make them into warriors, and then I'll send them all into this defensive building. Although I can actually take this. Now that I've upgraded them, they'll easily take out these peasant units here, and then they'll convert this building over. Over here, as you can see, that they'll recruit more units. The more units there are, the faster they'll recruit additional units. So there's an interesting little balance of how many units do you want to, keep here, and how many do you want to send off to take on the enemy. I'm gonna do like half-ish. And then we'll send them off over here. So there are some interesting strategic decisions regarding, how many units to send and stuff like that. So we're gonna go. You can see with the watchtowers, I'll automatically shoot arrows at any adjacent units. There we go. Try to take that out. See, kind of odd selections for the default numbers of units to send off, and those guys are really good. That's good. And this is basically how it works. All these campaign missions are pretty scripted, and really what the game developers want you to do. You know, to solve each of the puzzles within the allotted amount of time and whatnot. So that'll give you an idea that I don't feel like replaying this. I'm going to go a little bit further down here. This is actually a save game file from the developer that has everything unlocked. I basically got stuck right around here, and I just wasn't able to progress any further than that. You can actually see I didn't capture this yet. And then I went in and played the next scenario, or the next campaign. So let's do this one. Oh yeah, arrows. Alright, so... Eventually the arrow guys run out of arrows. Should have done that. Arrow guys are not good. Oh, get out. You're all gonna die. You see, there's some strategies about unit placement. You want to keep the range units in the back, and the you know, melee units up front. I need to get this thing. You can't stack units of different types, so I cannot send my little peasant guys over to help my arrows out, so they're going to get basically destroyed by these guys. If I was a better player, I'd make some arrows and keep them in the back. See, my arrow guys are definitely helping them out. Come on, reload. Yeah, I don't want to do that. You can draw out paths for units. Or just kind of use whatever default thing you're going to do. Really need to get this sword thing up, and then I'll be alright. Just gotta dig all the way over. Come on over, buddy. Watch out for that. I'll try to sneak attack from the side. Oh crap, I'm at 50 on it. You can see you can't click in the middle to only select some of the units either. But you have to scroll down, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, now we're in business. You can see the more units you have, definitely the faster that you accomplish tasks. There we go. And I missed 2 squares, so whatever. Didn't get that one. Alright, let me show off a mission from the other campaign here. In the other campaign, they introduced a couple more units and game mechanics. Let's go back here. They introduced food and wood. Food is required to recruit new units, and you have to have your units gather it. And then wood is required to capture buildings. So it kind of adds another layer to the game. So you can see here this whole number, this requires 20 wood in order to capture that, and so on. And then this little house produces food, which you need to recruit more units. So I'm not going to be so hot on this, but that's right. Each little tree is basically, 10 wood. You can see a lot of these scenarios rely on unbalanced or, actually this one's pretty even, but, alright, so, we send 6 guys to go get food. Yeah, I mean, dang it, this is bad. The trees do grow back, so you can go back and reharvest areas that you've already been at. Let's take these guys out. I'd rather have swords, to be honest. Unfortunately, these guys are coming. And I'm out of food. Not paying attention. You can see how making them claim land mechanic is helping them out here. These guys are going to get destroyed though. So they come over and help. Yeah, not doing so hot. Missions get pretty tough. I'm not super great at this game anyway. It's pretty fast-paced, definitely. But you got the idea. Just surrender and show. A couple more units down here. Yeah. So here you have wizards. What wizards do is they buff surrounding units. So, kind of the key here is to engage and then engage the wizards. Theoretically at the same time, but... Oh yeah, that's right. Archers are annoying because once you get engaged with them, you can't do anything until they start reloading, which is annoying. Don't think these guys... I don't know why they do that. There you go. Indeed we did. Although we failed both of the side objectives. But there you go. That is Crush Your Enemies. It's an okay little strategy game. You know, it's very fast. Each of the missions don't take very long. It's pretty challenging near the end of the first campaign and then in the second campaign. And because there's no skirmish games against the AI, you know, once you kind of reach your level of aptitude, that's basically it for the game. The interface is more designed for a mobile device. I don't like having to use kind of that, you know, click and drag to split the armies up. It should just use the mouse wheel in order to do it. But there is some strategy here. You know, how do you want to change your peasants? How many to keep them at their home base so they regenerate new units? Eventually, when you have to collect resources to capture buildings and recruit new units, how many are you going to dedicate to that? You know, there's different units. There's the general citizens, warriors, ranged archers. There's also shield bearers, which I didn't show, which deflect arrows back at the shooter. And then scouts, which move really fast. And then the wizards that you saw in the last scenario that buff surrounding units. I think that the converting the field to your color is an interesting mechanic as well. Makes it so you can't have a completely unexpected attack. You can kind of delay the enemy if you retreat a little bit. You know, and then also capture enemy buildings and rebuild them to claim them as your own, and then convert all your units over. Use the barracks to do that, or get the watchtowers to engage enemy units from range. And then you know, can also buy items in between missions that you can use, which I don't really use too much, but you can do it. Things like bombs and stuff like that. So it has some interesting ideas, having to capture the territory, you know, being able to perform tasks faster, like unit recruitment and resource gathering with more units, and then being able to, you know, put your units in the right spot at the right time before they engage the enemy fully. So it has some interesting ideas. I wish it had a little bit more replay value with some sort of offline skirmish mode, but it does have a fairly interesting campaign to take a look at. That's all I have for today. Until next time, bye now.